So I'm starting to repeat myself, and I don't want to be repetitive, but I have to just, this is such a goddamn big deal to me. It is such a big deal to our community about understanding substance abuse disorder, understanding mental illness, understanding the very simple logic that you have patients who are sick, who are self-medicating using weapons. Methamphetamines off the street is an evil weapon. You don't know what's in it. It's not scientifically manufactured. It is not government regulated. It's poison. What I found for me is I don't have access to Adderall anymore. I had Adderall. It was a successful bliss of just a beautiful dream of being treated properly and living a life of just living a good life. I never thought life could be as good as it was. I remember thinking at multiple times while I was taking Adderall over the years, I remember realizing, like, I can't believe this is too good to be true, that life is actually can be this good, that I can laugh and I can not be in crisis constantly. And now I'm faced with this situation where I'm in hell. I'm in a miserable body. I have a disease, or multiple diseases, but I have a disease that is of suffering. I suffer in my body. A groggy, dysfunctional fog, soul grind of dysfunctional mess. It's just, I can't think. My brain doesn't work properly. I'm just like a dope. I'm just quiet and in misery when I'm not on Adderall. And so it happened the first time with Dr. Choi, and it happened the second time on April 19th, 2020, when Dr. Elder took my Adderall away in January. Just like with Dr. Choi, he took it away, and then within 4 months, meth came across my face, and I found out from taking Adderall. I knew it was a stimulant. I knew meth was a stimulant. I knew how bad I was suffering with the contrast of going from being successfully treated on Adderall for so long to it being deprived from you, and you not having access to it anymore, and you're not being treated with it against your will and against any better judgment if anybody cares about you. Dr. Choi doesn't not give a shit about me. Dr. Elder isn't doing anything wrong. Dr. Elder's fine. Dr. Elder's a good doctor. He's a good guy. I just got a really bad luck with Dr. Choi. He stops my Adderall. He toys with it to begin with while I'm taking it. I go to the pharmacy. It's not ready. I wait 2 days. I go down to the clinic or call the clinic, talk to the nurse. My Adderall's not in. This is a routine every damn time. 3 days, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks, 4 months one time. The first time I found meth was 4 months. I didn't have Adderall. That was the longest I had gone after starting it. And that's when I found meth, and it was a no-brainer. I'm not going to suffer anymore. I have this relief right in front of me. I'm going to take it. And I got hooked, and 4 months went by, and the doctor still refused to give me my medicine. And then finally, my eyes melted. You could see, I looked disgusting. It disfigured my eyes. The meth did. And I was going into the clinic, and I was seeing Patty, and everybody was like looking at me like this, just looking at me like they couldn't believe what I looked like, because I looked so bad from the meth. And finally, Dr. Choi resumed my Adderall, and guess what? I didn't touch meth again after that. I got my Adderall prescription. I took my first Adderall pill. I didn't touch meth again. Easy as that. Bottom line, I felt the soothing relief of Adderall go into my system. The meth that I was on, the evil, disgusting hell that you're in when you're in that trap of being on it so long and sleep deprived and everything, was going away. Right when the Adderall hit my system, I felt the relief, and I felt the soothing refreshment of Adderall in my body. The second time I found meth was in January of 2020 when I got arrested. While I was taking Adderall, I got arrested for a charge that was 5 years old from a DUI that I was not on Adderall when I got the DUI. So I got arrested because I didn't finish the diversion requirements for the DUI, because I got a diversion and I didn't do the QRA is what I didn't do. So I didn't do the QRA, and so all of a sudden they didn't send me a letter or call me or anything. They just arrest me. And then the Dr. Elder he's a good doctor. He's not like Dr. Choi, where he's got these evil dispositions of, he likes to watch patients squirm and suffer. He likes to tell you you're manic and you're not. You're calm and you're just sitting there and he's saying you're manic. And he did it on video. I have it on video when he said you're psychotic. When I called him out. I called Dr. Choi out. And the only thing he could say is that I'm psychotic. The Dr. Choi is a spoiled brat. He is soft-spoken. He is tender because he's a spoiled brat. His daddy put him through Stanford, and he's a highly respected physician of psychiatric care in Eugene, Oregon. Soft-spoken, very intelligent, and he has these subtle... I've had these experiences with Dr. Choi of him having a subtle... I don't know how to describe it. It's a terrifying nightmare to be in, to be Dr. Choi's patient, and if you're me. Like, I asked him for a letter in late 2017, because I had to go to court for visitation for my son. All I needed was a letter stating that I'm seeing him, and I'm seeking psychiatric care, and ongoing. That's all I needed. Just the truth. He refused to write it for me. The Adderall, when he was prescribing it to me, he would not refill it. And it would be days, it would be weeks, it would be days, it would be weeks, months, days, weeks. It was just relentless. Every damn refill, I had to go down to the clinic because I can't call the doctor. I have to go down there and I know the nurses, and I had to say, nurse, I don't have my medicine, and I'm waiting on my medicine. Why is it not there? And one time Jay called me and said, go pick up your medicine. Dr. Choi's not doing his damn job. And Jay had my back on that one, and I was so grateful. And then Dr. Choi stopped the Adderall one time. I don't remember exactly what time, it doesn't matter. He stopped the Adderall, and then the next visit that I saw him, he said to me, you can get Adderall off the street, you know. He refused to write me a letter of care. He refused to write me a letter for the DMV in April of 2020. I had to file a grievance. It wasn't until Wednesday. I filed a grievance on Monday. It was the following Monday after I saw him. I had a phone visit with him the week prior. That Monday, there was no letter of care, or letter just stating that I'm a patient of Dr. Choi and I see him ongoing for treatment. That's all. Just one sentence. It's a week has gone by. There's no letter. I'm waiting for my license so I can work. And Dr. Choi doesn't have a letter. So I file a grievance. 2 days later, after the grievance, nobody calls me. Nobody addresses it. There's a letter 2 days later. And then on the video that I just saw, of the only video I have of him, which is a nightmare because I had another one on Facebook when he stopped the Adderall in 2019. But on video, I lost it. Oh, he said that he had it on Monday, and he's lying. Dr. Choi is lying. He lies when he falsely diagnoses me as manic, or whatever that's called. He tells me I'm manic and I'm not. He told me I'm psychotic and I'm not. And when I called him out, and was real obvious and clear that he was wrong, and that what he was doing is disgusting. And he has this treatment for me, this Adderall, that I don't want Ritalin, I don't want Concerta, I don't want any other stimulant, I want Adderall. It's a miracle cure. My body agrees with it. It's just a miracle. And after him toying with me for years of the refills, of not refilling it, and then taking me off of it for 4 months, and just, he's a cold-hearted prick. And then my eyes are melting from being addicted to meth because I don't have Adderall, and that's what got me interested in meth to begin with, was the Adderall, because I didn't have access to the stimulant, and I knew meth was a stimulant. Then he gives me the Adderall, and then later on he takes it away again. He's just toying with me. He's using his privilege, his status, his stature, his credentials, and our relationship as with me, a patient, a mental patient who doesn't have the same clout and the same weight of words that Dr. Choi does, the psychiatric MD at Lane County Behavioral Health, who's a soft-spoken professional that everybody respects in the community. But what they don't see is what happens in our visits. And I told him I'm going to start videoing our visits. I want a record of them, and I want you to stop terrorizing me. And he told me, no, you cannot video our visits. Now, with the COVID-19 crisis, he has to call me for the visits because we can't see each other in person. So it's perfect. I have my video set up in the car. And so you can see his disposition and his true colors on that video. You can see it with him saying that I'm psychotic, with him lying about the letter, with him saying, oh, this is negative energy. You're a holy man, or whatever. He's just a fucking prick. He is a dick, and he's using his status as a psychiatric medical doctor to toy with me, his patient, and it's disgusting. Adderall is a cure for me, for many people, I'm sure, but for substance abuse disorder, for ADHD, for my dysfunctions, for my conditions, for my comorbidity, Adderall is a miracle. Not the incident where Dr. Elder was prompted to take me off of it was not from a result of that night. I wasn't on Adderall when I got the charge that caused the arrest. The arrest was caused by a 5-year-old DUI when I was drunk, and I was not on Adderall. I wasn't being treated with Adderall at the time. I understand Dr. Elder's position. Dr. Choi is the disgusting fucking pig. I know that after reasoning with Dr. Elder and the logic and there's just an overwhelming amount of evidence and my testimony, and through the evidence of the success of the treatment and how nothing negative has ever happened on it. Me self-medicating and being hooked on methamphetamines right now because I don't have access to my Adderall, and I was exposed to the contrast of being on Adderall and then taken off of it to a disgusting, miserable life of disease, torment, and dysfunction. My only relief found from methamphetamine. So I think I have a chance that Dr. Elder's going to reason with me and see that the Adderall didn't cause anything negative in my life ever, period. Bottom line.